Blocks can be configured from a thick client interface which has 4 sections, one for per block category, each section in a different color theme to differentiate from another. Components are configured under each section as subsections or properties. The data integration section contains the routes subsection, which has toolbar to drag and drop components to build routes carrying object data structure in the flow. And components fall under different categories based on their usage. The configuration of each component is set via Properties pane by selecting the component. The route execution subsection execute the route's runtime, and pipeline subsection to build data pipelines by orchestrating the routes in sequence or in parallel. And last, ETL testing subsection helps in testing the ETL components. The Backend section contains Domain Model subsection, which allows user to define domain models containing domain objects along with relationships. On selection of domain object, one can modify its attributes and also define custom endpoints. The Application Config subsection configures and generates full backend application by selecting technology stack of choice, the database type, and the domain models. The Custom Endpoint subsection configures a user-defined endpoint using the same mechanism of drag and drop components as we did in the data integration section, reusing many of the components from there. The Generated Endpoint subsection allows the user to test all the endpoints generated by deployed backend application. This includes all CRUD endpoints as well as custom endpoints on domain objects. The Query Builder subsections allows to build custom SQL queries using the domain objects by joining, aggregating, filtering, or deriving columns by conditions or operations. The SQL queries generated can be saved and tested, and invoked in reports and custom endpoints. Let's move on to frontend section, which allows to set up user interface. The Pages subsection under UI elements allows us to define how to navigate to the page and plug in the services we generated from Backend section to predefined UI fragments. We have entity-driven page fragments as well as for other functionalities like charts, dashboard, etc. There is preview section for each page. In entity-driven pages, we use endpoint objects generated from Backend section into page objects with layout and landing details. The Page Container subsection allows us to select the pages created earlier and create a container for them in form of tab, accordion, or a grid layout design for putting page components in rows and columns. There is Preview section for containers. The Module subsection is grouping of pages and page containers for a specific functionality. There is Preview section showing how they would appear in navigation bar. The User Interface Application subsection allows to select the modules defined earlier as variable sections, along with header and footer configuration into a full-fledged UI application. One can select predefined libraries to be included in UI as modules. Shared Modules section has various functional units like rules, workflow process definitions, notifications, user management, data sources, reporting, connections, and miscellaneous for data-related configurations. Import and export functionality is provided at each section level, which allows users to change configuration as per their requirements or promote to another environment using existing configuration. The same functionality is provided even at global level, Certain sections have AI assist functionalities which helps to generate configuration using existing entities as a reference which can be directly imported. Thank you for your time. We'd love to hear your feedback and thoughts in the comments.